Gotta thank Wicked Foxy Dragon for the suggestion. This video had me rolling. I'm not gonna spoil it too much, but the theme of the show is the kids are all right. And this gentleman went to a Pride event. It sort of tested them a little bit. He's an internet funny man and political commentator, and he put on his best Trumper gear and went to go bust the kids' chops a little bit and see how they did. And boy, they did not disappoint.
This indoctrination stuff has gone way too far. I had an unsupervised weekend with my son. He's in the third grade, and I brought him to Hooters. The first thing he asks the waitress is, what are your pronouns? And it was embarrassing.
You're saying that we're indoctrinating kids, but you are bringing your son to Hooters. Do you not see the problem? Women are wearing... It's Hooters.
How's that different than bringing your child to Drag Story Hour?
Or any of us naked.
But I saw a video on Libs of TikTok where they were like dressed like
that gal in the back with the rainbow heart on her face. You can see the fury wash over her. She's gonna be such a good crotchety old lady. You know, in another 100 years back, she would be the person saying, like, you need Jesus. You need to learn right from wrong. She's just out there not taking any sass. It's beautiful. Let's let him go. It's a short video.
Like a strip club.
Right. The internet is different than real life.
The internet is not real life. That is not real life. Internet is fake.
So you're saying Libs of TikTok is not real?
No, it's not real. I'm sure some of the stuff that on there are real, and maybe sometimes the stuff happens, but not a lot. It is a lot different than taking your 2-year-old, or your second grade son, third grade son to Hooters.
It's been a long time since I've had an unsupervised visit with my son.
You're an
No, but you know what? I shouldn't have to be supervised. Thank you. My visits with my own son should be unsupervised. I just had to start, catching up on my child support. I feel like that's cancel culture. It's cancel
culture? That's not cancel culture. That's you being a bad dad.
Drag queens know that they aren't overly sexualizing women and creating a really horrible image for them.
You can walk over there and look at the drag queens, and they're not showing anything. They're in full length clothing, and
So, first of all, I think the kids caught on pretty quickly to the fact that he was trying to be a punching bag. But they let him have it. I mean, this was the verbal equivalent of a bunch of street toughs with some poor sack in the center passing him around by punches. I mean, they were whooping him verbally, and it's just delightful. Delightful to see. Let's just let him bring it home.
they're just performing a show. They're being very respectful.
They're also giving out water and making sure everybody's staying healthy and safe the entire time. They're also not naked.
I'm dealing with indoctrination with my own son. Wow. I had my first unsupervised visit
And the contrast.
with him. I just had my first unsupervised visit with my son. We go out.
How old is he?
So he's he's in third grade. I think he's in the third grade. I take him can we say the name of the restaurant? I took him to Hooters. I take him to Hooters, and the first thing he asks the waitress, what are your pronouns?
Oh no. You know what? You need to get him out of school and either get him into private school if you have the money, or teach him yourself.
They're indoctrinating the kids in school.
The first question he asks the waitress is, what are your pronouns?
It's
embarrassing. And he's in the third grade, and I was like, who's teaching you that?
Wait, your kid said that, not the waiter?
No, he asked the waitress.
No, that's even worse than I thought. I thought you said the waitress asked you guys.
No, that's even worse.
Let's just leave it there for a second. I want to talk about the flurry of things we just heard. Okay. first of all, when we say these folks don't have principles, this is what we are discussing. He mentions that he took his kid to Hooters, and they don't go, wait a minute, whoa. You took your kid to a borderline nudie bar? What's the matter with you? Nope. Has nothing to do with protecting kids from sexuality. It's just about hating on gay folks. It's about making sure trans folks stay othered. They don't seem like regular folks to kids. Then we have this guy rattling off that bit about private school. Oh, you know what you should do? You know what the solution is? You got to get your kid in a private school if you got the money for it. Yeah. This guy wants to create a solution where people with money get to have the lives they want for their kids, but people without money don't. Now, the life he wants for his kid is a sad one, but still, you just see where their minds go, and it's super sad. And the thing is, the kids who were at this Pride event, where these punks were also bothering people, the kids see that, and they understand what they're seeing. And these folks are a great advertisement for why you should never, ever trust anything the Republican Party has to say about anything ever again. They're a useless organization. They exist only to enrich themselves. That has become crystal clear. And the people that fall for the grift, this is what they look like. I know it might truly, really, it might feel like these people are like, that guy's going around and he's having to search for just like the corniest, silliest people there. I've been to these things. I've worked with news teams full of people who must go to these things. I've been on the team that has to record interviews with these folks. Truly, I have pretty much met nobody except folks like this at them. And I'm sure in the rest of their lives, when they're talking about things that aren't related to politics, I am sure they don't act like this. I'm sure they can be taken a hell of a lot more seriously. But this is like coming across someone when they're stone drunk. They're on something that negates their opinion at the moment, I suppose.
Oh my goodness, where did he learn that?
I think that the military is going to step in because I think the only way is the military.
The world's military is laughing at our military when they're...
Real quick, that guy saying the military is going to step in, that's fascist authoritarian right there, just so you know.
Trying to figure out what pronoun they're on. They're figuring out how to take us out.
We're talking about indoctrination.
Right. Okay.
They are making fun of me.
Real quick, what did that little contrast right there? It's important to note. In fact, let's go back and look at it. Listen to what this guy says.
Oh, no, that's even worse.
Yeah. Oh, my
Wait a minute.
Where did he learn that?
I think
All right, listen to what this guy says.
that the military is going to step in.
He thinks that the military is going to start kicking in doors and forcing people to live the way that he wants to live. Forcing people to live the way he wants to live, not the way they want to live. But they all have to do an impression of that guy because he's uncomfortable with the idea that somebody a couple houses down doesn't live exactly the way he does. And so because of that, he thinks, his hopeful message is that, don't worry, the military is going to force people to do that at gunpoint. Then what's this other guy say?
because I think the only way is the military.
The world.
Oh, he says the only way is the military. So he thinks that it is necessary that the military does that horrible thing. All right, what does this guy say next? Listen at the very end.
Military is laughing at our military when they're trying to figure out what pronoun they're on. They're figuring out how to take us out.
We're talking about indoctrination.
He thinks that we, and those like us, are secretly having the military figure out how to take them out. In other words, it's a guilty conscience. He's hanging around folks like you saw just there, who are talking about how they think the military is the only way. So he hears what his fellows think, and he does the standard Republican thing these days. He turns around and says, well, the other side must be that bad too. I think one important talking point we need to start addressing is that we are not as bad as MAGA is. And I don't mean we're bad. I mean, we need MAGA voters to understand that they're hanging out with a bunch of immoral sons of bees. We are the moral ones. Let's just be frank about that. And they are the dancing, stinking wretches. And they're not honest just because we spot it often. It's not as though we just do a better job of hiding it. The reality is, this is why the left skewers itself constantly. It is to avoid becoming that. But let's end it on a high note. Here's the kids knocking out of the park again.
Okay. They are making fun of me because, I was telling them a very personal story about how I brought my brought my son to Hooters. It was my first unsupervised visit that I've had in months. And I got really embarrassed because he asked the waitress what her pronouns are. And it was like, you know what, read the room.
I think about that story, there's a lot more things you should be embarrassed about, personally.
She nails him at the end. I think of that story, there's a lot more things you should be embarrassed about. So look, our job is pretty clear. We got to keep the USA alive and being a democracy until that group can fully join us in the fight. We were talking about when are they born? When are they born? Gen Z, 1996 to 2010. That means the youngest of Gen Z, they're 13 years old right now. 5 more years. We got to get through one more election cycle, one more presidential election cycle, and one more cycle with the House and Senate before they are fully in the game. I feel like we can do that. I think that's a reasonable ask. So let's do it. Let's welcome them into the new America in 2024 with the gift of a blue House, a blue Senate, and a blue White House. I bet, especially with their help, I bet we can do it. Thank you for the suggestion, Foxy. Let's see what the Wicked community has to say.